think when it comes to building a brand as a photographer, we can get caught up in the logo and the color of it, or how our interface and homepage is going to look on our website. But y'all, it really comes down to one important thing when it comes to building just an amazing brand for your business. And guess what? We're going to talk about it today. You may be taking a few guesses, but I think it's something that is very simple and is also hidden in plain sight. The number one thing that I want you to understand when it comes to your business as a photographer is that your work is your brand. Guys, we are not out here passing out our resumes to people on the street. We have work that we can actually show. And this is what potential clients are going to look for. So the quality in which you edit your photography, your signature style, the way you compose your models or people in front of your camera really is what's going to speak volumes to the people that you want to come to your business and be your clients. So before you stress out about a logo or the color scheme or the font that you're going to use, make sure that your work is good and make sure it is something that you would want to present to hundreds of thousands if you were asked to. And honestly, a lot of my peers that are like in photography and videography, or even those that I'm looking up to in a way, they don't have like a branded type of timeline on their social media or on their website. Their website can have their logo and their name, and that's about it. And that's probably one of the system fonts that's already in our computers, you know, because they know that don't even really matter, okay? What you came here to see was my work, and that's what's going to speak. That's what's going to talk for me. I won't even have to open my mouth. Here's the link, here's my portfolio, and yes, this is what's going to give you your impression of me, and that's what matters. So let's dig a little deeper. When it comes to your brand, you want to develop your signature style. So that means that the way you edit your photos, the way you compose, the way you light them, the way you just set your photography up is really what's going to stand out. It's going to be the way you present yourself as a photographer. It's going to be your style that people will be able to say, that is, insert name here's style. I know that photo from a mile away, you know? And so develop that, work on that. Look up ways in which you can sharpen your tools of editing. If you feel like right now your style of photography is getting a little dull, enhance it. Take some classes on YouTube University, you know, or on all these amazing platforms that teach you about editing. If you're in Lightroom, if you're in Capture One, whatever software you're using, get acquainted with it and just really know that as you continue to grow, your eye may change for what you like to look at, and that's okay. Just evolve what you have already started and make sure that you build on top of it. So if you are someone that likes to do contrasty, very saturated photography, and it kind of gives off a like very vibrant, maybe cartoony, or maybe just like, I don't know, whatever feel that is, build on top of that. Like maybe you want to add more clarity to it, or you want it to be more sharpened look. Just think about what you want to see in this world when it comes to photography and do that. And listen, I know that trends come and go. There are certain looks that you may want to try them, but when it comes to building your brand, consistency is key. People want to be able to relate a style to your work. And so build on what you know, but make sure that it stays within your true self of who you are as a photographer. And then create an amazing portfolio of your best work. Listen, your portfolio is your marketing tool. It really is. It is what people are going to be able to see when it comes to who you are as a photographer. It is the proof of the pudding. It's the proof that you are doing what you do. So make sure when it comes to maybe your website portfolio, or maybe you wanted to just do an Instagram full of your photography, and that's kind of like the link that you share with people. That's cool too. That's how it is nowadays. Make sure it's your best work. Make sure it isn't always the same. If you've done a photo shoot of a model, for instance, and they did the same pose, Try not to post so many of the same pose. Post another one with a different pose and make sure that that variety is there. And also, if you want to share how you style lights, if you do natural light, if you do artificial light, show a variety and make sure it's crisp, make sure it's clean, make sure that it really does speak to who you are and what you want people to hire you for. You don't need 100 photos of the same shoot just to prove that you're a good photographer. People can just see one photo and be like, oh yeah, that's who I want for my editorial shoot, or that's who I want for this feature in the magazine, or whatever. Just put your best foot forward. And then at the end of the day, let your clients be your marketing. Okay, here's the deal. When you do a good job with your photography, your people are going to share. They're going to post. Repost that thing on your timeline, or get a testimonial from them, or the emails that they reply back with their reactions to your photography. Keep that, share that, let people know like, hey y'all, this is what's going on in my brand over here, and it's popping because we getting stuff off over here in a good way. And the work is really speaking for itself. And then they'll be able to refer you, which is that old school way of word of mouth. It never fails. And that is the gift that's going to keep giving, is that when you do one thing, it could be a trickle effect of great connections, divine connections on the way to you, and you just didn't even know because you did one photo shoot. And then another important thing is to always stay authentic to your artistic vision. In the days of social media, there can be a lot of pressure to feel like you have to be very salesy or push yourself onto people or be very commercial. But if you don't want to do that, don't do that. If you do it, and just do it authentically. Do what's real for you. If it is not real for you, then it's going to be hard for people to really read it or buy it or try to get into what you're doing. And also, when it comes to your creative vision as a photographer, if there are people that want to sway you in a different style, like if it's a client that wants to do something that's totally different than what you do, don't do it, and try to refer them to somebody else that you feel like can do it. Because listen, when you try to take in work that you know that you're not really confident in doing or editing or making come to life, it's going to look like it. It's just gonna look like it, and you don't want an unhappy client. So refer them to another photographer, or just let them know that, hey, I kindly can't do this as this is not within my creative style. So yes, when it comes to building your brand as a photographer, just know that it's not all the glitz and glam of a logo. It really is about your work. So get good in your work. Make sure that you are putting those hours in so that you can become really proficient in what you do and an expert in what you do, because the people that are for you are going to gravitate to that amazing work that you're doing because you put your all into it. You were authentic, you were consistent, and you really showed up for yourself, and you really won't regret it down the line, and this will truly reward your business.